largest air force, and while it did operate British aircraft when required, like the de Havilland Vampire, and indeed a large number of Hawker Hunters like the one we've just seen, the mainstays of the Swedish Air Force frontline fleet were the types produced by the indigenous manufacturer Saab. The J-29, the Tunnel, that we saw flying here as part of the historic flight contribution last year, was one such. Well, here's the aircraft that was designed to succeed it, a type that first flew as far back as October 1955. It, of course, looked revolutionary when first it appeared. This was to be an all-weather aircraft, capable of very high speeds and with exceptional rates of climb, yet it also had to be able to operate from short runways at dispersed sites. This was the result of the Saab SK-35C.
Spreading out into the more sublime standard delta. Ben, I think you're right with me now.
Scale design, the Saab 210, the little Draken, before the first prototype of the Saab 35, as here, flew. Steep learning curve in terms of the aircraft's performance and capabilities, not least because at that stage there wasn't a two-seat trainer. That was rectified from around 1960 onwards. On the penultimate day of 1959, the SK-35C two-seat conversion trainer variant appeared, and this is one such aircraft. Swedish Air Force Draken pilot turned Saab test pilot Stig Holmström. He described the typical mission. And for its time, it was a hugely advanced aircraft. We think of the data link between pilots and controllers. Indeed, nowadays, controllers, AWACS aircraft and the like as a modern invention, but the Draken in the 1960s introduced a form of data link, allowing secure communication between fighter controllers and each aircraft, affording even greater precision to its missile attacks. Out in the field. At some of the Draken bases, the aircraft were hidden away in concealed hangarage in underground cavern shelters. The idea being that the aircraft were exposed to enemy attack until the last possible moment prior to being scrambled. The J-35A model was the first fighter Draken. It was replaced in production by the B model with better radar and fire control system. A more powerful engine was added from the D model onwards with further systems improvements.